I've said it before, Spurs fans, and I'll say it again. No Wemby, no Vassell, no Sohan, no problem.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? TGIF. Welcome to TSR Sports. What a great comeback victory by our Spurs last night. And my question to you is, should Charles Bassie get more minutes? I'm going to answer that question myself. But first, we're going to get into the article from Air Alamo about last night's big win before you start in the comments. But it's just the Jazz. It's just the Jazz. Our Spurs would have lost that game last year and probably quite a few seasons before as well. So I'm proud of our guys for fighting and winning. What year is it? I wouldn't go as far as to say this team feels like it did in the early 2000s, but the culture Spurs fans are used to is returning. That culture dictates the players stick together, play with poise, and play hard no matter who is in the lineup. Gone are the days of Boris Diaw, Thiago Splitter, and Boris Diaw. What? I didn't even know that. Okay. But Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, and Charles Bassie got the job done. But it wasn't just them. The Spurs last night had 8 players scoring in double digits to secure the victory after falling behind 20 points in the first half. It's our Spurs' first comeback victory from a deficit that large this season. Something to build on. The game turned once the Spurs matched Utah's energy. It sure did. The game of basketball is fascinating because in one quarter, you can find yourself wondering if you're actually watching an NBA team. We've done that at some points this season with our Spurs. And in the very next moment, that same group can look like a championship contender. And last night, I was live for this game with a lot of you. And some folks at halftime were saying, game over, I'm out. Basketball is such a game of runs. 1 minute you can be down 15, and then you've gone on a 17-0 run, and you're up 2. We saw that last night. The Spurs fought back in the second half. And if you missed that, that's a bummer. We're seeing a growth process right now with our Spurs being sped up by the presence of Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. Their fingerprints are all over the team. And I got to say, I've been one of the Spurs fans that's like, yeah, maybe we'll trade one or both by the All-Star break. If this team is going to continue to grow and benefit a bunch from being around Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, then yes, keep them to the end of the year. Growth and long-term growth is more important than a second-round pick, is it not? Recently, Chris Paul spoke about how he talks to Stephon Castle, coaching him up and encouraging the rookie to be aggressive, which he has been. And even in victory, Harrison Barnes is advising Keldon Johnson on what not to do when closing out a ball game. We didn't see it last night. There was a turnover, fast break, dunk by Keldon Johnson, but he may have hung onto the rim just a little bit too much and actually pulled himself up 2, which is a no-no. Harrison Barnes tells me they had to get on Keldon Johnson because of that dunk he did and holding onto the rim and shaking it to close the game. He tells me that he keeps giving Keldon advice to not do anything that will give the opposition any advantage or a technical. And at that point, the technical didn't matter, but if you lose the game by 1 point, something like that could be devastating to the team. Chris Paul had another double-double with 13 points and 10 assists, and he was fantastic in the fourth quarter. And then Harrison Barnes showed how to step up and play mistake-free ball. 25 points on 8 of 13 shooting, including 5 from 3, and 11 boards. I don't believe he had a turnover. He had easily his best game as a Spur. I like seeing him getting more involved in the offense, and it's paying dividends. And then last but not least, the man on the thumbnail, too sweet but not sour, Charles Bassie, the Bassinator himself. What a fantastic game he had last night. This ad is bugging me. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Crap, you can't read it. Ads. Charles Bassie was a godsend. He dominated the paint defensively with 6 blocks. That's right. 6 block shots. It was like Wemby was there, but he wasn't. And affected more than that. After the Thunder game, Bassie told reporters that his job is to bring the energy. And let me just say, our Spurs showed 0 energy in the first half, which is why they got down by as much as 20. But he brought the energy, brought it in the second half, and what a momentum changer he was when there was a drive in the paint. Maybe Colin Sexton, another player, goes in, challenges Bassie, blocks the shot, starts to break something, gets the fans excited, gets the team energized. And then the game starts to swing, and here we are next day talking about a comeback victory. But he brings the energy, and that's exactly what he did. This is the best version of Bassie we've seen. Aramo likes it very much. He also chipped in 11 points, 8 boards, and a steal for good measure. It's exactly what Spurs fans are used to when the stars sit out. And if you forgot, Wemby and Vassell and Sohan out. Wemby and Vassell hopefully back tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll be live for the Warriors game at 8:30 p.m. Eastern with Miss TSR Sports and Company. But hopefully he's back. Cheap plug alert. The backup players step up and give the opponent a fight they are not ready for. And that's what I've been asking for the last few years with our Spurs. Rebuilding, yes. But at least compete. Don't go out there and get your doors blown off and lose by 30 or 40. Now, in regards to that Charles Bassie question we started with, should he get more minutes? My answer is yes, yes, yes. Bassie brings the energy which the Spurs really needed with that lethargic first half. And right now, he's on fire. Small sample size, but you look at his last 2 games, he's averaging 11.5 points, 8.5 boards, 4 blocks while playing 24 minutes a game. Really, Charles Bassie's biggest obstacle when it comes to playing basketball is his injury history. Last 2 years, season-ending injuries, I believe, to the same knee. If he can stay healthy, that might be our backup center in the future. And moving forward this season, because Zach Collins is still going to get the minutes first. Sorry, Spurs fans. He's making about $18 million. He's going to come off the bench first. However, I would do it case-by-case scenario. If I'm Mitch Johnson, which I'm not, but playing a little basketball chair, armchair quarterback, if we need offense and free throw shooting, I'm going to go with Zach. And believe it or not, Zach Collins has been pretty good offensively this year. He's been very efficient. His shooting splits right now are 52, 38, and 90. That's pretty darn good. That's what we would like to see from Wemby, is it not? 52, 38, 90, great. If we need energy and we need some D slinging, nobody slings D like Charles Bassie. And our defense on our second unit has been very poor at times. So maybe if we're starting to give up that lead or we don't need the offense, we bring in Bassie. The problem with the second unit offense has also been bad. 2, when you look at the inconsistency we've had from Keldon Johnson all year, and then the Malachi Branhams and the Blake Wesleys, who the heck knows, you roll the dice with them. You don't know what you're going to go get on any beginning of night. And Trey Jones right now doesn't seem to be the same offensively. He's been struggling a little bit. So it's half a dozen 1 and 6 in the other. What's more important at the time, defense or offense? Thankfully, Spurs fans, when we get everybody back, when Wemby's back in the lineup, when we got Sohan back, when we got Vassell back, a lot of those are going to get fixed. And maybe Vassell will continue to come off the bench for a while and give us that offense we need in the second unit that we're not getting from Malachi Branham or Blake Wesley. No matter what happens, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it is such a fun time to be a Spurs fan. We're 8-8, which would be a playoff team in the Eastern Conference. Right now, we're 11th or 12th in the Western Conference. I said we'll be a fringe playing team. It seems like that's where we probably will be. Maybe better when everybody's back. I don't know. I'm rambling a bit because I'm excited about the team. I think good things are coming, and I'm really glad to enjoy this season with you. We didn't get our 8th win until, I think, January 20th last year. We're 2 months ahead of schedule. Almost exactly to the day, 2 months ahead of schedule. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night for the Warriors game, and have a great weekend. Drop a comment down below, your thoughts on the win. I'm Bassie. Hit the thumbs up, become an official sponsor of TSR Sports, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.